Okay. I think so. I think so. Hello, everyone. We got so blown away by the concept that we forgot that I forgot to tell you that the meeting is going to end anyway. So, yeah, that's destiny and free will. I know it's a little confusing in the beginning. Like I said, see, destiny is like the rope. It can change based on what, like Aparna was just discussing. It's like the rope. If the keeper decides, he can make the rope a little longer. He can decide to cut the rope off. But still, the control over this destiny is not with you. It is with the keeper of the goat, right? And the keeper for us ultimately, children might think their keeper is their parents. Somebody might think their keeper is their spouse. But eventually, the keeper of all of us is God. So if we have built a good trust with God, we have built a loving relationship with God, why would He have to keep us tied? He will decide to give us all the freedom. It all depends on how well we are able to build that trust in that relationship, right? Auntie says that's a question mark, is it? Right. So I mentioned that God assures us that He'll release all the bondage that comes or arises from the karma that we have done before or that we are doing now. Okay. But when does He do that? So in this shloka, the 13th shloka of the 3rd chapter, the translation is this: the devotees of the Lord. And devotee means a person who is in a loving relationship with God, where he does not do business deals, okay, with God. He has real love and concern for the welfare of God. Okay, God takes care of the welfare of everybody, but does anyone of us even bother to think about the welfare of God? So anybody who tries to build this loving relationship with God or is working towards it is considered to be a devotee. So here the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins. Sins are bad consequences of bad or inappropriate karma. Okay? They're released of all kinds of sins because they first sacrifice whatever they're doing to God. For example, here they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice to God. Okay? So a lot of times we say that it's not just in Hinduism, these things are there in other cultures as well, where before you eat anything, you pray and thank God for having the opportunity to eat it, isn't it? Right? And you offer that food first to God and then accept it yourself. So that is sacrifice. You are offering it, isn't it? So others who prepare food for personal enjoyment, they thought that, okay, someone said that last time they're going to order it. If they feel like eating something, they're going to just order it and call Uber Eats or stuff like that. So that kind of, this is being, if you really see this is being very selfish, because God says He's always present with us. God is always present with us. Imagine there is this person whom you cannot essentially see or experience or feel initially, but this person is constantly with you. Okay, you order stuff, you don't even bother to. There's somebody with you in your room, with you, okay, who's really loves you and cares for you. You decide to eat something that you want to eat, that's all right. You don't even bother to offer. थोड़ा आप लोगे क्या एक one bite, do you want to taste? Won't you ask? At least that's basic courtesy, isn't it? So when we don't do that, obviously we are committing some kind of sin. So what we're eating is also gathering our sin. So it's what's the what's the takeaway from this? I just told you is that God is with us, right? Always. Although we might not be able to all see Him, or we do feel His presence a lot of times when things go haywire or things do not go our way, that's when we turn to him. Okay, when things are not going properly, when there is distress, that's when we go to God. Hey Bhagwan, ye tune kya kar diya mere saath? Huh? What have you done with me? You should not have done this. Only then we remember. But when we turn to him, there is a solution that comes up. There is help that comes up. So he's there. He is guiding us. Despite we being business people, he still decides to help us every time that we go to him. So when we involve God in our daily activities, he feels loved, he feels included, he or she. Okay, I am not being gender biased here, please. So he or she accepts it, accepts that love, right? So that's what we are supposed to do, build that loving relationship. And eventually we will experience that presence, right? It's all about belief. If you want to see proof for everything, it's very difficult with limited senses. Keeping a compound microscope, you are expecting to see, cell organelles and stuff like that. Sorry, this is technical biology stuff. But, you're trying to see individual cells with a compound microscope and telling that, no, I want to see it with this, only then will I accept. It is stupidity. It's foolishness because it's just not possible. You need an electron microscope. Okay. And, with a compound microscope, you can't demand that you want to see these things, which is not possible to see with that. The only thing with the benefit that we have is we can evolve. Our senses eventually evolve to that point where we can experience and see things. It's not like if you are a compound microscope, you remain like that forever. That's the benefit that we have in the human form of life, right? So this is very precious. This outfit of the human body that we have got is very, very precious in the capability it has to evolve and understand things further. Right. So this is the yoga ladder when it comes to karma. Okay. To begin with, everybody performs selfish actions that results in, some sinful karma, where you're performing knowingly or unknowingly some things that are deviating, some actions that are deviating from the path of righteousness. You end up with sinful reactions. Okay. And then you have the sinless and godless stage. You don't believe in God, but you are doing karma in the path of righteousness. Okay, that's the second stage. Then comes ritualistic and sinless. It's called karma kanda, where most of the business deals come into karma kanda, where you say you have a relationship with God. You say you will give something to him. He agrees and he gives back, he takes part in your business deal, right? But basically, you have no emotions here. All you're doing is a deal. And everything, your relationship with God ends with that deal until the next deal comes up. So that is karma kanda. Mostly pretension or pretending. Karma yoga is when you really build a loving relationship with God, with sincere, wholeheartedly you offer stuff to him. Whatever you do, you offer it to him. You include him in all your activities, right? That is when it becomes karma yoga. And seeing that kind of love, God is very moved, right? Because you come in touch with somebody who is a multi-billionaire, trillionaire, all right. You are friends with him, let's say. What can you offer this person? What do you think will be the greatest gift that you can offer this person? I'd like to see in the chat box what you all think. Multi-billionaire, trillionaire, he has everything he can ever think of, anyone can ever desire of. He's capable of having it, and he already has a lot of stuff. Okay, it's you who can go and take a lot of stuff from him. But if you had to give something to this person, what will be something that very precious thing that you can offer this person? Tiptanshu says love, faith, and loyalty. Compassion or kindness, Divya says. Okay, very nice. Kumar says to everyone, you can offer to this person happiness, which is a very nice answer. Because being multi-billionaire, trillionaire does not mean the person might be happy. Right. What? It's this hilarious answer. Karthik Agarwal is saying he'll offer sleep, it seems. This person can't sleep. Okay. Love, compassion, trust, something thoughtful, something from the heart. Okay, right. Right. Okay. So something that will really move this person, something that will really make this person feel happy is your sincere love, affection, and trust, right? And when you give this love, affection, and trust, he ends up being happy. His troubles are being shared with you now. So he can also sleep peacefully. Okay, you can also provide that sleep through this love. So people who are advocating for sleep, your point is included here. All right. That's what you can give this person, because this is something very precious, something that money cannot buy, isn't it? You know, he cannot hire someone to show him unconditional love. It has to come from the heart. It has to come voluntarily. God expects the same from us. God cannot beat us with a stick and say, "Oh, come on, give me unconditional love." Neither can someone who has this is a multi-billionaire command someone to offer him unconditional love. It's not possible. It's something that comes from the heart. So unconditional love, trust, and faith is what we can offer to somebody who has everything. This is beyond anything that money can buy. Also, in this chapter, I said the acronym is TREE. So, towards the end of the third chapter, we have something called exemplary. Exemplary means being an example for other people. So whatever action a great man performs, common men will follow that. So naturally in society we have people who are leaders, and other people will follow what these leaders do, right? And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world will pursue that. So it's important that we all are leaders in some sense or the other. So it's important that if somebody, there will be people that look up to us. It's important that we set the right example for them, isn't it? So as natural leaders, it's important we act carefully, whether it is parents are leaders for their children, teachers are leaders for all the children that come to their class, heads of state are leaders for the whole country or state, right? The responsibility is as important as heads of state being a parent or a teacher. So when you have leadership roles, all of us have it. It's important that we set the right example for people that follow us and choose your leader carefully. Like I think Lalita Aunty was mentioning about choosing the guru. Guru is a leader that you will be following for life, okay, whose guidance you will be taking for life. So it's very important that you choose the right guru, the right leader. Lalita Aunty says she wasn't lucky. A lot of people are not these days because there are a lot of people who pretend to be leaders. So it's important to use our intelligence and discrimination while choosing leaders. It's important. In our Indian tradition, we have the system of Guru Shishya Parampara, which means guru and disciple relationship or tradition that comes in lineages, right? It's only bona fide students who are capable of leading other students will be given the responsibility to be a guru whenever he or she, who has studied in a gurukula. The system was there in India and has been there. It's still running. Okay. So while you are choosing your guru, if you choose somebody who's coming from a bona fide disciplic succession, right, who's coming from a lineage of gurus and shishyas, that is a very big assurance for you that this person is not somebody bogus, is not some fraud. This person has come into existence as a guru through the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master who's coming in lineage of gurus from several years, thousands of years. Right? So it's important while you choose your guru to see what lineage they come from, what Guru Shishya Parampara they come from, what philosophies they follow. Use your discretion for these kind of matters. It's important. So Arjuna, therefore, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. This is what Lord Krishna says to Arjuna. surrendering all the results of this battle, with full knowledge of me, without desiring any profit. Just fight, become free from lethargy and go fight. This is what Lord Krishna says. So surrender all your works with full knowledge of me, without desires to profit, with no claims for proprietorship. It's not that you do things without desire, and when finally after the battle you get the kingdom, you say, Krishna, okay, give me the kingdom, see you, bye, take care. Got what I needed, see you. This is not, you should not claim proprietorship later on. That's not love, that is fraud, isn't it? So it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, although faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. And to follow another's path is dangerous. So each of us have a different duty, different path to follow. It's important that we take to our paths, right? And what is something that deviates us from this paths that we have? It is lust. And we had this lengthy discussion about lust in Monday's session. When does lust come about? What is lust actually? Lust is not the English meaning that we make of it. It's not something related to male and female relationships. It's something very different. So we categorize it in greed. Yes, yes. Desire. Okay, desire is not just, I mean, desire is very subtle. Lust is something beyond that, isn't it? It's greater intensity, maybe. Attached to things. Yes. So last class we saw a flow chart. What does everything, where does lust come into being? Before lust, what is there? Indumati has got it right. It's attachment before lust. How does attachment come into being? Lust is more like greediness, Divya says. How does attachment come into being? Where does it all begin? When you keep contemplating about something, you keep thinking about something, like take the sugar example. Okay, let's go for very simple examples. You decided to leave sugar, keeps coming to your mind again and again and again, day in and day out, you're thinking about sugar, sugar, sugar. Now you have this attachment for sugar. Next, what happens? You start. What do you start doing? You start craving for sugar. And that craving goes on and on, increasing until you eat it. Exactly. Until you eat that sugar, this craving goes on and on increasing. Now imagine for some reason you can't eat the sugar. There's some kind of barrier. There's really bad mother or someone who completely destroys you and says that get lost, you're not supposed to eat sugar. I'll complain to so and so. It'll ruin your life. You can't eat sugar. Someone's there who does not allow you to do it. What happens? What will you do to this person? What is the first emotion that will come? You will get angry on this person, and this anger will eventually get into rage if they still don't comply, right? This is what happens. It just begins with one small thing, which is contemplating or thinking about something again and again and again. See where you ended up in. Anger, rage. And after that, it is bewilderment. And after that, it's loss of intelligence. And it's not a joke, it's real. Okay. Because sugar is such a small example, you feel like it's not possible, but no, this is what happens with us, right? And people get into so many types of mental disease states and stuff like that, bewilderment, loss of intelligence, and all suicidal states and stuff like that. So committing crimes. Now, somebody who's really wanting to get sugar, whatsoever may happen, what will be the next intention now? If there are barriers, if there's a mother, what will be the next intention? Anger didn't work. Rage didn't work. What? Violence. That is also part of anger and rage, I think. What you'll end up with is trying to steal it from behind the back. Right? Right? So you're getting into stuff which is all away from the path of righteousness, just because you were thinking about sugar for quite a long time. Sorry? Yeah. Yes, we lose our purpose. We lose our sweetness. Diptansh is saying in the process of stealing sugar, we have lost our sweetness. We lose our sweetness, right? It's very true. So it all begins very small. So this enemy, the biggest enemy, Lord Krishna says, is lust. You should never allow yourself, your desires to progress into lust. Okay? You still have control while you're contemplating, while your mind is going towards something again and again. You have the control over your mind to some extent where you can engage it in different activities instead. You can engage in a different thing so that you stop thinking about it. You can try. Okay. And when it's attachment also, when you've thought about it, when you really want it, even then you have a chance to change it, change those thoughts, change that attachment. If you allow it to progress towards lust, it's going to go uphill after that. I mean, you are going downhill, but your lust is going to go uphill and progress into anger, rage, bewilderment, loss of intelligence, stuff like that. So this is the biggest challenge in your spiritual life. Spiritual life is a sadhana. It's called sadhana, means it is practice, right? Okay, it's already 5. My goodness, and we have not had our quiz. Okay, so I'm going to quickly complete this. This is explained in this chapter by different examples. The way lust is explained, okay? So, right. It's like how fire is covered by smoke, how an embryo is covered by the placenta in the womb, how a mirror is covered by dust. That is how this lust will cover our intelligence. So it is natural to have this, but this is the biggest enemy. And we have the choice, and we can practice, we can do abhyasa and sadhana to get rid of this lust. So the senses, the mind, the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge that we are supposed to have, our real identity. We are not able to realize it because of this covering of lust that is so strong. So it covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders it, makes us do foolish things. So what is the life lesson that we get out of this chapter? Conquer lust by regulating the senses. Like I said, the mind is like a child. You have to keep it engaged. Otherwise, it will run to different places. You can't expect it to be stable and always, still and ready for you to give it commands. No, the mind is like a child. So you have to keep it engaged. So when you engage the mind in things that promote righteousness, in things that promote a loving relationship towards God, like calling out God's names through a mantra, okay? Or studying scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita, where you are hearing what God has said, hearing God's words, right? So you're engaging your mind towards hearing God's words, hearing God's names, and this keeps the mind focused towards God, right? This is important for us to build a loving relationship. When you are in love with someone, you always think of this person, isn't it? Whether you like it or not. You're cooking, you think, oh, this person likes this food. Let me cook this, let me eat this, something like that. When you're wearing a particular color of dress, you think, oh, this person really likes this color. How would they look wearing this? So you keep thinking of this one person, you contemplate on this one person forever and ever, isn't it? Is lust what we call Maya? Yes. Yes, Prashant. Enlightened being Prashant sends so many profound things in the chat. Sometimes I don't uh, tell that out loud because it might be too complex. But yeah. So lust is also called Maya. We will see what Maya is. Okay, it will come in the further chapters. Lust is something that is controlled by Maya. Okay. So yes, if we can conquer this lust by regulating our senses. And how do we regulate our senses? Maya influences senses, right? Yes, Maya influences our sense perceptions, not the senses itself. How we perceive things is influenced by Maya. But it is our sadhana and practice by which we can get rid of this VL that Maya creates, and see what really it is. See what it is actually, right? Instead of seeing a distorted version of what it is, right? So mantras are recommended. Okay, in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is recommended, which goes like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By repeating this mantra, you're calling out again and again to Krishna. Okay, we're calling out to this person. He's with us anyway. He says he's in our heart. So when you're calling out to him, he decides to actively guide you and participate. He is there, but you keep ignoring him. But now you're giving him attention, isn't it? So he also becomes happy to help further. You will start building this relationship. This controls your mind, and eventually you will be able to, by his guidance and help and mercy, you'll be able to conquer this lust and have the focus that we want to have. So, where to find this enemy and defeat? How to defeat this enemy? We regulate the senses. How? If we are feeling like eating something, we're really feeling like eating something, you order it, no problem, or you make it for yourself. You first offer it to Krishna. Now your tongue that is so eagerly waiting to have this has to wait 2 minutes more, so that you offer it to Krishna first and then have. Right? Eventually, when you're giving this kind of training slowly, your tongue will learn that you are not under its control. It is under your control, right? Now the tongue can't control you and say that, look, hey, I need this masala dosa right now, get it. No, I will get it, but I won't give you. I'll first give it to Krishna. He will eat it first, then I will give you, right? So eventually you're training your senses that they have no control over you, right? The mind also similarly, by chanting these, repeating these mantras, you train it. You develop your intelligence further by reading these spiritual books like the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, the Bhagavatam, right? You will gain that spiritual knowledge to propel you further. So this is our third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I'm sorry I've taken 10 minutes more, right? This is the tree is the acronym for this chapter. Tyaga, regulating our activities by offering our actions, to God, being an exemplary, trying to lead an exemplary life, right, where people can look up to us and learn from us, okay, and conquering the enemy, lust. So we repeat this mantra. The solution is given now in the third chapter to conquer this lust, to control our mind by repetition of this mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this time of the time cycle, the Yuga cycle, if people are aware, is called Kali Yuga. And it's believed to be the most distressing times for people that live on this planet. Okay. But to easily overcome this distress, what can be done? You're in the middle of an ocean, your airplane crashed in the middle of an ocean, and you're in distress. But you decide to keep waiting until some help comes. Or you decide to keep fumbling. Oh my God, I'm in distress. But you never make the SOS call. You never make the SOS call, distress call. Then how can you expect help? When you call out God to help you, that is when you can expect help during distress, isn't it? You have to call, right? You are in an emergency, you don't call 911. You expect that 911 automatically will get to know and come. It's not the case. Similarly, you call out to God, get his attention, and he comes to help us in distress. So we repeat his names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is said in the Kali Santarana Upanishad that Iti Shodashakam Namam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam Natah Parataro Upayaha Sarva Vedeshu Trishyate. In all the Vedas, there is no better solution to, get rid of the this effects of Kali Yuga than chanting these 16 syllables or these 16 names. It is given, so it is advised. So that is the end of today's lesson, and we're going to very quickly do the quiz because we have very less time. Okay. Right. So if everyone's ready for the quiz, please get to your chat box and I'll give you a minute to get to the chat box. We should be done with the quiz by 5:15 and I'll have to run for a meeting. Right. All right. So if everyone's ready, looking at their chat box, we're going to now do the quiz. The first question. Is everyone there? Is everyone ready? What is the biggest enemy in spiritual practice? What is the biggest enemy in spiritual practice? Very good. It's unanimous. Everyone's got it right. Right. So another 5 seconds for other people to answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. The next question, the second question for you is, in which shloka of the third chapter, does Lord Krishna assure that we will be freed from our sinful reactions? The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins. In which shloka of the third chapter was this told? Sorry, it's a difficult question. Amazing. There are people who are giving right answers. I did not expect this. Okay, Divya says 13th, Pranav says 11th, Saumi says 19th. Very good. Appreciate your attempts, and one of these is the correct answer. Okay. And is everyone done? Do you want to take guesses? Other people? Shivani 11. Okay. 5 more seconds for you to answer this question. 5, 4, 3. Lalitanti is going to put in 11 because everyone said 11 here. Most people said 11. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're done with this question. Okay. Let me keep the third question a little simple. How many types of tyaga? How many types of tyaga are described in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? How many types of tyaga? It's very difficult. Right. I see a lot of people answering. I'll go with majority again. And it's unanimous this time. Excellent. Yes. Very good. So the answer is 2. Right. Perfect. So we're done. Does anyone need more time? Right. I think everyone's answered this. It's unanimous. Perfect. So I have 2 minutes to take maybe one question for today. I apologize. I'm short of time. We can do. And the WhatsApp group is open for questions, and I'll be happy to answer your questions there. Please make use of it. You can send in your questions on the WhatsApp group as well. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have one question.
Yes,
somewhere it was referred to as swadharma, and I mean it's better to do your own action and fail or not succeed 100% than doing somebody else's action. And what is the definition of swadharma and paradharma, or the other dharma?
Yes, so there is not swadharma and paradharma is not the classification that's given. I think we saw this in the second chapter. It's swadharma and nitya dharma. Okay. So nitya dharma is considered to be duty of the soul. Okay, your eternal duties are considered to be nitya dharma. As a soul, what is your duty? That's your nitya dharma. And as a soul, what is really our duty is to build this loving relationship with God. Okay, because we are said to be like drops that have got detached from the ocean. Our endeavor should be to go back into that ocean. So that is the Nitya Dharma. Swadharma is the duty that we do in this, duties of having a body. So duty that we do within the body, bodily duties are termed as Swadharma. Okay? So prescribed duties include both Swadharma and Nitya Dharma. So our prescribed duties should be duties towards this body and duties towards our duty as a soul. Right? Does that answer your question, Pranav?
Yeah, to an extent, but I think it was in chapter 3. Oh, I'll just refer to the slides again and then come
It was
back.
in chapter 2. It was in chapter 2, and I will share the slides for this chapter as well.
Yeah.
Might make things clearer if you read the whole purport for that shloka.
Yeah.
The shloka that you are referring to is, let me tell you the shloka number. And please do not think that I have all the 700 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita by heart and all of that. Okay, I'm also like you guys, studying with you all. So this is in the 35th shloka of the 3rd chapter, 3.35. You can go through it, the purport, and it might make more sense. But please feel free to shoot your questions on the WhatsApp group. I'll be very happy to send you references and, answer in whatever capacity that I can. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for the question, Pranav. Right. So we're going to quickly end this with a small prayer, and I will see you next Monday. Right. Sorry? I just said one question because I have to rush to the meeting. Right. So I'm going to take a leave now with a prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. It was an amazing discussion. We'll continue this. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Divya. Bye. Hare Krishna. Thank you.